guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm pretty intrigued. It's like a little intriguing video. My ears like popping out. It's come to say hello. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm pretty intrigued. So before Christmas, so we are talking like a good 8 months ago now. Yeah, a good 8 months ago. My friend from Liverpool said to me, have you ever tried Jessup Brushes? And I was like, come by me again? Who? Never heard of them. What you want about? And she was like showing me all of her makeup brushes, and I was like, oh, these are actually pretty good. They feel like Zoeva quality. What is the brand again? She's like, Jessup. And I was like, who is this brand? I have never heard of this brand. So there's me thinking it's some sort of indie brand, which I suppose you could say it is. And she was like, no, they're just on Amazon. There was like a whole thing about them years ago about how amazing quality they were. And I was like, was there? I think I was just out of the loop on that one. Anyway, I digress. I bought some Jessup brushes. I've had these for quite a while sitting around. I actually bought them before my first impressions video, which I will link up in the eye up here if you want to go check it out. It's a long one, so grab some popcorn, grab a drink and sit down to watch me play with a plethora of products and tools in that video that I've never tried before. But I actually had these before then and I was going to involve them in that video, but I ended up playing with different brushes. What a long introduction, I'm so sorry. I didn't buy any face brushes simply because I have quite a lot of face brushes and I just kind of want to test the quality of them. I was more intrigued by the eye brushes. I love a good eye brush, and in my opinion you can never have too many eye brushes. So I bought the set. So this is the, I don't know if this has actually got a name. Okay, this is just the Jessup individual brushes set. Includes 15 pieces, colour, black, silver. I will link the 2 brush sets that I have bought down below, so if you're intrigued to buying them, then go for it. These are like the cheapest brushes I think I've ever bought. So getting inside the box, you just slide it open like this, and as you slide it open, you get a little slip talking to you all about the brand and what they do, who they are, cleaning, like how to clean the brushes, things like that. To be honest, I've read through it and there's nothing important I think I need to tell you. Every brush did come individually wrapped in its own little plastic slip, though for the purpose of this video I have just taken them all out to make sure that they were 1, all there, 2, I didn't need to return them straight away, and just so that I didn't have to sit here opening them all for you in front of the camera. But they did come all individually wrapped. So this is the black silver range, as you can see, very reminiscent of Zoeva brushes. So I'm very intrigued to see what the quality is like on these ones. And these were the ones that I got recommended to me by my friend. She said these are like dupes of Zoeva brushes. If you haven't got Zoeva brushes, then you might not know that Zoeva brushes are brilliant quality, but they are quite expensive. So if you don't want to spend a pretty penny on Zoeva brushes, then these might be a great dupe if they are brilliant. I also got another box because I couldn't decide. So I knew I was going to get this box anyway, but then I was going to buy a few other brushes just to test that if it was just these ones or if it was just Jessup brushes in general. So I bought these other brushes, which I thought maybe these would have been worse quality because they've got a completely different brush head to them. They look completely different, and these are the Jessup Makeup Lover Precision Collection in the colour black. Again, comes with a slip inside, and it also came all individually wrapped. So these are the black brushes with the sort of red tip to them. These are all synthetic, as the label says, so I know no different. Apart from what the label says, it does say that they're all synthetic, but these are slightly different shapes and sizes. These are kind of a bit longer and fluffier. There's some really big brushes that I thought we could use for like a highlighting brush, or one here, look, that we could like set under the eye, something like that. So yeah, I don't know, I thought we could just put these to the test today and have a look if Jessup brushes are worth the coin, are worth your dollar. Okay, so getting you a little bit closer, I'm going to start with my brows because I have nothing through them at the moment, and I also have some concealer brushes as well, so I kind of want to, we're going to be doing our makeup in a bit of a funny order, but I want to test as many brushes as I possibly can and show you the differences between the 2 packs to sort of tell you what I think is worth it, or if they're both so different that you should get both, or if one is better than the other. For brow brush options in both these packs, in the sort of silver and black feral kit, you get 3 sort of, I suppose you could say, liner and brow brushes. I'd probably use this more as a brow brush, or we could use it as a cleaning up brush. And then you get two smaller ones, which I would say are going to be really, really great for liner, especially this one here. And then in the black brushes kit, you get this slanted brush and a spoolie, just like that. So if you like spoolies, then you get one of those. And then you also get this slanted brush here. I hope your camera's focusing. This is very, very thin and could be used as a liner brush. However, in terms of liner, you do get this tiny one just here. Hopefully you can see that, this tiny little liner brush as well. So I'd probably use this, if I just had this kit, as the brow brush. Today I'm just going to be using the spoolie from this kit to kind of just push up in my brows. This is the brow liner brush. This is the spoolie that I've just used. Let's get into it and see what I think. Okay, so that's using the brow brush. I've got to say, I think I did a pretty good job. I've just been using the Benefit Foolproof brow powder. I don't really use this very often, and I think it's actually done a really, really nice job. It felt really soft. The spoolie's quite good at getting in between the brow hairs. Yeah, I'm just going to do the other eyebrow and then I'll be right back. Okay, so in terms of like concealer brushes, we have this amazing concealer buffer brush in the like silver and black box, and it just looks like this. It's this round, really, really soft concealer brush, really, really great for like the under eyes, especially like in that inner corner. My camera's not focusing, come on girl. So really, really great for under the eyes. We also have two flat like big brushes. We have quite a few other small flat brushes. We'll get to them, I think, when we get into the eye look. But we have like two big flat shady brushes that I would say are better for cream products. It actually does say here cream shader, so this would be really great if you had a cream base to put on your eyelids. But I'm going to try and use these for carving out the brows and patting concealer over the lid. Again, this isn't necessary to use three brushes for concealer. I'd probably just use one and maybe a sponge. That's actually really nice. It feels really nice as well. It doesn't feel spiky at all. It feels really nice and soft, and it's blending that under eye concealer really well. I feel like this brow should be more like this, but it's not. It's like I don't have the same muscle as I do in this brow. So if you always notice that one of my brows is like more curvy than the other, it's not my skills, I promise. It's just because I don't have the same muscle that brings this eyebrow up. It's very frustrating. I mean, yeah, great. This is just, you know, exactly what you want if you want like a little brush to pat out concealer. Personally, I just use my finger or a sponge. But again, this would be great for a cut crease, and it's distributed the product nicely. It's very soft, nothing scratchy, so happy with that. I'm then going to use this other brush from the same like black brush line, and I'm going to go into like a little bit of powder. This is just like my Wet n Wild one, and it's just like this really cool under eye setting brush. I don't really need to set under my eyes, but I just wanted to test it to see what it would feel like, and it feels really nice. And this one here, which is the MUL07, and I think this would be a really great highlighter brush. So I'm going to go put on some bronzer, some blush, and then let's highlight with this, and then we'll get and then we'll get into the eyes. Okay, so I have a little bit of blush and bronze on. All the products that I use today will be linked in the description bar below, as always. I want to go into the Moonchild palette. I just feel like I want a pink highlighter today. I have no idea. I'm feeling pink today, and I'm going to go into the shade Pink Heart. On the cheeks, I find colourful highlighters so fun, but on the nose and like the upper lip, I don't actually like too much of a duochrome flip. But just to keep it pinky, I'm going to go into Jouer's Rose Quartz highlighter. This, whoa, damn girl. And let's give this, oh jeez, let's give this schnoz a highlight. Oh yeah, cute. Cute. In fact, I'm just going to go over the highlight with this because it's so pink. It'll just brighten up a bit. Oh, damn. I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead as well, and then we'll go over with the Anastasia Moonchild palette. Like this just has a bit more of a white base to it, so it's a bit more reflective. Pretty. Oh my goodness, I really love this brush. Like I really love this brush. I think this is actually gonna be a favourite brush of mine. Brush, brush, brush. I feel like this is kind of like worth buying just for this. This is such a nice brush. Like it just distributed the product nicely. It picked everything up. Like, woo! You can't really see it in the camera, but in person, I am beaming. Okay, getting into eyeshadow, which is, obviously I've bought mainly brushes, so I'm going to go into the Colourpop Bare Necessities palette. As far as big fluffy brushes go, I'd say they're both on par, like they're both the same. So you've got two big fluffy brushes in the white set. This one here is a bit more longer and a bit more fluffed out. This one is a bit more denser and tighter. And the same for this box of brushes. You've got one that's a bit fluffier and bigger and more pronounced, and this one which is slightly thinner and slightly tapered in. So we've got very similar brushes here. I'm going to just use one of each, I think. I'm just going to use this one and this one, just because I can't use like 4 brushes for the same thing. Or maybe I can use both on each eye. That's a good idea. Okay, let's do that. I'm just going to go into the shade Hot Gossip, this one right here, and I'm just flinging this through the crease. You could probably see that I had a little bit already in there, but I had to change my position. And I'm just flinging this through the crease. So far, this brush in particular from this set feels so soft, really, really nice. Yeah, I really, really like this so far. It's also blending out the product really nicely. Colourpop products are, like, I'd say probably one of the best sort of shadows you get for like value of money wise. I'd say they're the best sort of drugstore out there. One of my top 5 formulas, I'd say, for the money. So I know how they work. That brush gets a thumbs up from me. Let's try the other brush, the little white ferrule brush on the other eye. Interestingly, this is the first brush that I've noticed is a little bit spiky. Don't get me wrong, it's not uncomfortable, it's still nice and soft. It's just not as soft as the other one as a comparison. I've also noticed that I've got a single hair here as it's shedding. It's very normal for brushes to shed. I'm just telling you exactly what's happening as I'm applying the product. Again, pretty good brush. I'd say if I had to compare the two, I did prefer this one more than this one. This one was just a little bit more softer and just blended out the product a little bit nicer, but this one still did a great job. So yeah, pretty good. I'm gonna go into the slightly tapered ones now. I'm gonna go into All For You, which is this more mauvey toned neutral, and I'm just gonna build the colour in the crease again, just not taking it up too high. Again, feels really, really nice and soft. Both are really nice so far. No shedding in this one. I mean, yeah, so far the big transition shade brushes are really, really nice. I'd say these are softer and I maybe am leaning towards these. But equally, like, I'm not disappointed that I've got these. I just maybe prefer these ones a little bit more. But then these are just, they feel a bit nicer. They are a bit heavier than these ones. So I'd say they are on par, they're equal at the moment. I have got this other massive chunky boy here, which is really, really thick. It says it's a Luxe All Over shader. This is kind of big, and I think this would be great for like messy eyeshadow when you just want one shade to just like buff all over the lid. I'm not going to be using this one today because I'm going to be trying to do a bit more detailed work, but this is from the, obviously the Silver Ferrule line. And it's the 222 Luxe All Over shader. Again, this would be great for, I mean, it feels really nice, really soft. It'd be great for just patting like a shade all over the lid and then just using the same brush to blend it out. This would be really, really great if you love doing that sort of thing. So yeah, that's great. The other two that can be used for crease work are this one here, which is the 227 Luxe Soft Definer brush. It's kind of like a tapered MAC 227 brush, can't remember what the brush is called, and then we've got the 231 Luxe Petite brush, which is a nice, it's like a massive pencil brush but fluffier, so this is actually really nice and I love doing crease work with these. And then in the black brush kit we've got the MUL 14, MUL 11 and the MUL 12, and these are kind of like, we've got a tapered one here, that kind of goes from thin and then tapers outwards. This one's a very circular brush. It is consistent the whole way around. It would be lovely for crease work. And then we've got a slightly pinched at the ferrule here. Not as much as this one. It's kind of like a smaller version of this one actually. So we've got 3 blending brushes for crease work and only 2 in this one. I'm going to put the smaller tapered brush out of the works just so that we're kind of comparing on the same basis. So we've got the big round one here, big round one here, the pinch tapered one here and the pinch tapered one here. So going into the tapered one first from the black set, I'm going to go into the shade Act as a Fool. Yeah, Act a Fool. This one right here, it's this beautiful purpley mauvey toned matte. And I'm just going to focus this on the outer corner. It's a tiny bit spiky, but again, not anything to write home about, nothing really noteworthy. I'm just telling you exactly what I'm experiencing using these brushes. It's like doing a nice job, but for some reason I'm not loving it. But it's doing a nice enough job where I'd use it again. Okay, going into the white tapered brush, again back into Act Like a Fool. Not picking up as much product as the other brush. Again, a tiny bit of spikiness, but nothing really terrible. It's lovely and soft still. I'd say it feels exactly the same as the other one in terms of softness. And then we've got like these 2 rounded crease brushes, which I'm going to go into the shade Taboo. I think this one right here is a nice chocolatey brown. Going into this side first, pushing this on the very outer corner and smoking it into the crease a little bit. Just deepening this up. This is a really nice brush, this one here. Really, really nice. Yeah, that's done a good job. It's blended out the product nicely. It feels lovely and soft. And it's doing everything that I want it to do, which is really great. And then for the white side, again, going back into Taboo. This feels really soft as well. I liked both those brushes. I've got no qualms about either of them. They've done a great job. I feel like they've evenly distributed the product. They felt good, etc, etc. In the black set, we've got 3 flat shader brushes, and in the white set, we have 3 as well, but they're very, very different. So in the white set, these are a bit more, they're different in their variety. So this one's like a good smudger one right here. Hopefully the camera's focusing enough, but they are quite thick as well, so this would be great for packing on mattes. I really like a thick brush for packing on mattes. And then we've got this small detailer brush right here, and then this nice smudgy brush, really, really firm brush here. Whereas in the black set, they all are just flats really. We've got this slightly thicker one here, hopefully the camera's focusing enough, and then these are kind of both thin, these two. Got a smaller one and a bigger one, as you can see right here. So these would be great for creams. What should I do? I mean, I can't realistically try on 6 brushes, so I'm just going to pick out a few that I like the look of the most. Okay, sorry if you see a bit of glitter on my eye, I had a malfunction. I'm not going to go into the Jelly Much Sweet Dreams eyeshadow because I think it's a little bit dried out. I need to hydrate it, and it's better with a finger. Like, when I swatched it with my finger, it was fine, but with a brush, I think it's just not jelly enough to pick up with a brush. So I'm going to do a handbrake turn and go into the Supernova shadow in Over Again, which is still like a pinky sort of effect. And I'm just going to tap this on the eye, and then we're going to move it around with this flat shader brush. Yeah, which is having no problems doing so. The product sticking to it nicely. Some flat shader brushes, like creams, just do not stick to them. But this one's doing a very nice job of just pushing the product around. I've got no complaints about this brush, to be honest. It's doing exactly what I want it to. Yeah, I've got no complaints. We've got the smaller size as well, which to be honest, actually I don't think we're going to need, because I thought we could maybe use it, but it's just a smaller version. So if you want to do more detailed work, that's great. That's there for you as an option. But to be honest with you, it's going to do pretty much the same job because it's the same style of brush, but just a smaller size. I'm happy with how that product's gone on. I'm just going to repeat it on the other side, and then I will be back. I'm going to try and go back into this Sweet Dreams Jelly Much eyeshadow with the smaller, like this brush. What's this actually called? The 237 Detailed Shader. And I'm just going to like try and layer this in the inner corner just to sort of see what this is like. Yeah, again, I'm really happy with these little flat shaded brushes. I think obviously I've not been able to test all of them in this video because I literally cannot test out 5 flat shade brushes on 2 eyes, but I'm happy with how they've performed. This glitter is a little bit crumbly and I probably should think about either getting some rejuvenating drops in it or throwing it out. But I'm just gonna take this little brush with nothing on it just to clean up this edge. Just like that. I actually really like this brush. I'm going to go into the like silver ferrule brush set, and I'm going to go into the shade, I think All of You, this one right here. And with a smudger brush, this, yeah, it is 226 smudger. I'm just going to smudge that shade a little bit more down. Just kind of bring all the shades together, a little bit of my lower lash line. This feels really soft, it feels really nice. I'm going to go into these two because they're the most similar to one another. This one right here, where is, if I just put it, this tiny little one right here, this one is so cute and be really great for just like applying a tiny bit of colour. It'd be really great. Excited to play around with this. And this little brush here, the 223 Petite Eye Blender, would be great for outer corner, like really smudging like a really nice deep chocolatey brown or something like that. I'm going to go into these 2 pencil brushes. I'm going to go back into my Rose Quartz highlighter by Jouer, and let's just go into this brush first for an inner corner. Picks up a good amount of product. It feels really soft, and yeah, it seems to be blending the product out nicely as well, so got no problems with this one either. This feels like a nice pencil brush, to be fair. Yeah, very nice. Let's try the white ferruled one. This one's a little bit more chunkier. I can feel it's a bit more thicker. Picks up a good amount of product as well from what I can see. Both of those pencil brushes are really nice. I keep going back to this brush, by the way, that I used for under eye setting powder to kind of flick out any fallout that I'm having. And it's a really nice brush for that. It's not too dense. I can just keep flicking it away. I like it. And then finally we come down to liner brushes. Now there's 2 liner brushes that are very similar in shape with the silver ferrule brush. We've got a tiny one and a bigger one, and then in the black packet we have, not black packet, the black like ferrule pack, we have 2 liner brushes here. One is more of a pencil liner brush and one is a slanted one. I like the variety because I really love when I've got a glittery eyeshadow, like an actual pressed glitter. These eye brushes here, these pencil liners, are great for just placing a tiny bit at a time and not packing it on the lid. So I really like owning these. I don't have a lot of them, so this is great, but today I probably won't be using this because I'm not going to be using any glitter. Let's use the 2 that are similar in size. I think I'm going to use these 2. This one's just a tiny bit too big, I think, so let's use these 2. I'm going to just use the black eyeshadow in this palette called Spyglass, and I'm going to kind of just create a tiny bit of a wing, not really like anything massive. This brush isn't bad, it's just not quite dense enough for my liking, as it's the only liner brush in this box apart from the really skinny pencil brush, which I wouldn't really use for a winged eyeliner anyway. I'm more likely to use a slanted brush. This isn't quite as dense as I would prefer, but then maybe with a gel it'd be completely different. But just off the bat, looking at it with shadow, it's okay. Like, it's doing a good job. It's just not my favourite brush I've ever used. Let's try the other one, this little orangey tipped one. Okay, so makeup is done. I'm just going to apply some mascara and a lip, and I'll be right back to give you my final thoughts on the Jessup brushes. Okay, so what do I think of the Jessup brushes? Now, are they as good as Zoeva? I think the shape's the same as Zoeva. I think they're definitely dupes of Zoeva, so if you've got any brushes in your wish list that Zoeva do, and you can see that there's like some comparison brushes, like for example the concealer brush that Zoeva does, this is like literally identical. It just isn't as weighty feeling. Like the Zoeva brushes feel weightier and they feel more expensive, but if you're not bothered by that and you just want nice brushes, which I'd say a majority of people, that's what you're here for, you just want nice brushes that work, you're not bothered about the heaviness and the weightiness. I am a makeup enthusiast. I take all these things into consideration. I do lean towards a heavier brush like this Real Techniques. I think these are discontinued now, but these are like the squirrel fur. They're not real squirrel fur, they're like blue squirrel brushes. These feel really nice and weighty, and they feel nice, and in comparison to like say a Morphe brush, it feels lighter. It doesn't mean that I don't like the Morphe brush. I love the Morphe brushes, but I like a weighty brush. I like to feel luxurious when I put my makeup on, and these are the little things that I pick up on. So this brush set right here, the silver ferruled brushes, I think this is a lovely brush collection, and I think that if you don't have any eye brushes and you want to, or you have a few, you have like 1 or 2, but you don't have any of the detailed brushes, you only have like one fluffy brush and a shading brush, and you don't want to spend a ton of money, but equally you want to be able to have that variety, I think this is a great brush set. I think they all feel great on the eyes. They did a great job, and there wasn't a single brush where I was like, ooh, hell no, sis. There's a little bit of shedding, but if I'm really honest, like, am I really that bothered by 1 or 2 hairs on my face I can just go and flick off? No. It's not like it carried on shedding the whole way through. I've had brushes before that I've used on my eyes and I've literally got like this beard on the side of my face, and it's not pretty, and those are the sort of things that I pick up. So I think these are pretty good brushes. You get a good variety in here. You get some nice cute small shading brushes, like detail brushes. You've got some nice fluffy blending brushes. The only thing like missing for me is like a proper flat shader brush, but then again you do have that here. It's just a little bit chunky monkey for my liking, but in all honesty, like, this is a really good brush set. If you're after some brushes, really good brush set. I was actually thoroughly surprised with this brush set, and I might go as far to say as I enjoyed this one more, simply because it has these really nice like big base brushes. It's got the spoolie, it's got some more variety, I think. Like, there's no 2 brushes are in a similar category apart from maybe the flat shader brushes, but then I do appreciate having 2 different size shader brushes in here. So I don't know. Oh, and then there's 3, isn't there? Okay, so maybe there's a little bit of duplication there. But then again, you know, where you've got 3 flat shader brushes in this one, you've got 3 eyeliner brushes in this one. So it's preference, isn't it? I mean, personally, this highlighting brush is going in my everyday makeup brush set right now, like right this minute. It's a Gorgina. So I don't know, I really like both of these brushes. I don't think that I can say to you get one over the other. I think it's very much up to you about what you would prefer in a brush set. If you don't highlight, if you don't like using a spoolie, if you use a brow pencil, then maybe this brush set isn't for you. If you're more likely to use flat liner brushes, fluffier brushes, crease brushes, maybe this one is for you. Go on Amazon, have a look at the pictures. They do a variety of brush sets. I have literally just picked up 2 out of many, so I just wanted to tell you that the quality of these Jessup brushes, or at least the ones that I have tried today, are highly worth the money. These are like £15 each, and I'm not being funny, that's like £1 a brush. And if you went to Poundland right now, Pound World, wherever you're going, you would not be able to get the same quality brush for £1, and that is cheaper than Morphe. Like, we're just going to be real about this. This is cheaper than Morphe. I've got a Morphe highlighting brush here. This is actually from the Jaclyn Hill set, so it's probably going to be a little bit more expensive. Like, I think I prefer this one over this one, and this one's like £7 or £8, I think it is, if you were to buy it on its own, and then this in a pack works out to be £1. Just putting that information out there. I'll link the 2 brush sets that I've used down below. If you go onto like Jessup shop on Amazon, then you can have a look at all the other brush sets that they do and make your own decision. But yeah, hopefully this video has been as informative as possible and give you an insight of how these brushes are used on my face. And I'm rambling now, so thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell because then you'll be notified of all the videos I upload. I upload every single week and you wouldn't want to miss out on more content from me. Everything will be linked down below that I have mentioned in this video, as well as the description of what I've used on my face as well. It's all down there. Please go check it out because I always put it in there. So yeah, thumbs this video up if you've enjoyed lastly, and have a great one. Have a good rest of the day wherever you are. Take care, and yeah. Bye!